Next up on the channel, we're looking at Iron Man, Heroes Return, part of the Totally Awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, on the way I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? I got it figured back with another Marvel Legends review. This time we're looking at Heroes Return Iron Man. I picked this figure up at a local comic shop, and I was kind of always going to get this figure. I don't want to be buying 1,000 Iron Mans, but this is one from the late 90s. And a lot of figures that I get, either they're sort of a universal take on the character, or they're from an era of comics that I like. So this one being the Heroes Return Iron Man, which was the suit that he had as a part of the Avengers and in his own book back in that late 98, 99 kind of timeline. So I definitely wanted to add him to my collection and did so. As normal, we're going to do everything we normally do. We're going to go over the package, get the figure out, take a look at them, do a couple of comparisons with some other figures, and get you out of here with some final thoughts. So starting with the packaging, he is in the plastic-free packaging that we are soon going to be going away from and back to the old Marvel Legends packaging, which I have opinions about that, but I'll share those in another video. And they're just sort of marketing him as a Marvel figure, but this is totally an Avenger all day long. I don't know why they didn't just put Avengers on him. So on the side, of course, you've got some artwork from the Iron Man series. On this side, you've got the Totally Awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure parts. And of course, this being Iron Man, he does not come with a Build-A-Figure part. And then on the back, you've got Iron Man shooting some repulsor blasts that he does come with, even though they're not showing it over here because I guess they're showing it in his hands. And of course, he's got some fists. So that's your look at the packaging. Let's get Iron Man out, see what we're dealing with. All right, so we've got Iron Man out of the package. This is how he comes in the package, with the repulsor blasting hands already in. And of course, he comes with the 2 blast effects that you get on just about every Iron Man, and 2 fisted hands. So this figure, again, hails from the late 90s, early 2000s era of the Avengers and Iron Man, after the Heroes Return from the Heroes Reborn storyline into Heroes Return. At that point, Tony Stark had to create a new company called Stark Solutions, and he basically, was just starting all over because he was kind of thought to be dead for a while, like the rest of the heroes, but he was also an Avenger. And eventually this suit was compromised by Ultron, and he ended up having to go back to the classic gold and red suit. So like, the 80th anniversary Iron Man armor, he had to go back to that outfit for a while, and then he started building different suits or whatever that would eventually morph into what you know as the Extremis suit. So like the early versions of the Extremis suit came after this one. But he's spot on to that version of Iron Man, and we're going to look at him a little more closely. So he's got the thing that he had on there, this chest beam. I guess it, you know, he really didn't use the unibeam too much with this outfit. I don't think that it wasn't that he could. But this is like closed up. He's got the techno neck, which is almost like an artifact from the Heroes Reborn suit. Yeah, the suit was designed by an artist, Sean Chen, who was doing the art on the book at the time. And it's a, you know, it's got the classic V thing for the helmet. And you know, it's a pretty faithful adaptation. Obviously, there's reuse on here because he has pinned arms and pinned legs. I believe these are really the same legs that you would get on the, you know, again, 80th anniversary style Iron Man body. They just changed out the gloves and the boots. So yeah, it is weird that he's got pins. And pins don't bother me, but they've been giving us so many figures without pins that I kind of, you know, I don't know, it just threw me back a little bit. Now, one of the things I did notice when I was just, you know, kind of manipulating the figure a little bit is that while he's got these repulsor hands, they do not articulate. Like I'm like bending the peg. So if you see here, this is a solid. So yeah. So there's that. I'm pretty sure the other Iron Mans I have, even though they have this, you can manipulate the wrist. As far as articulation, he can kind of do a T-pose, but it's somewhat hindered by the late 90s shoulder flaps. He does have an ab crunch, even if it's not all that deep. And he can go back to about there. Head looks down to about there. Looks up to about there. I actually like the up. It's actually pretty good there for flight poses and stuff. Obviously, the normal Marvel Legends swivels. And this is the rare Iron Man that actually has a waist swivel. And the usual leg articulation with boot cut and ankle pivot. It's almost, it's interesting that they gave him, you know, waist swivel and an actual ab crunch, but took away his arm, his hand, wrist manipulation. It's kind of weird, right? Oh yeah, of course, bicep swivel. Don't forget the bicep swivel. All right, so let's, well, first I guess, put the repulsor blast in. So he's got a repulsor blast, of course, and they also double as, you know, thrust, which is almost how he's standing in the pose, as if he's using them for flight thrust. But of course, probably mainly using them as repulsors. But if you put them on a flight stand, you know, you can use these or some of the other ones that you undoubtedly have for that. The colors that they've chosen for him remind me of the Model 80 armor from last year. The contemporary Iron Man suit that he's sort of wearing right now. So there you go with that. Then we'll change out his hands. Show the fists. So the fists do have articulation, as you can see. For what it is, you know, but he can do it. If he wants to flex his muscles, he can. It's kind of strange that they didn't give him articulated repulsor heads. So there you go. So look at the accessories and the articulation. Let's get them. Let's do some comparisons. All right, just for a couple of quick comparisons, we've got Beyond Earth's Mightiest Hawkeye. Ooh. And my favorite, 20th anniversary Captain America. And for once, he's taller than them. And Iron Man really kind of should be, because he's wearing a big bulky suit, even if it's not bulky, you know, he should be a little bit taller in his armored suit. And both of these guys were Avengers when he was wearing this outfit, Hawkeye for a shorter time than Captain America, but they were both in the book together, well, with Iron Man. So there you go. That's your comparisons. And I'll move on quickly to final thoughts. All right, final thoughts on Heroes Return Iron Man, part of the Totally Awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure wave. I like this figure. If there's reuse, it's a pretty standard Marvel Legends release, but it does check a box for your Iron Man collection, or at least my Iron Man collection. Is it kind of skippable if you're not like a huge Iron Man nerd? Yes. I'm not even getting it as an Iron Man nerd. I'm getting it more like as a Avengers nerd. But you know, for me, it was an essential suit. I got a lot of memories tied up in this time of collecting comic books, and so it was definitely one that I felt like I had to have. But not everybody's gonna feel like that. For this one, I'm gonna give this one an 8. It's a decent figure. It's using some of the older tech. It's got pin joints, and I'm not docking it for that. It's just kind of just a standard Marvel Legends kind of release. So yeah, I think that's a good grade. All right, with that, I'm gonna get out of here and get some more of the other videos done. I want to thank everybody for staying with the channel, checking me out, seeing what I got, cooking, and there's more to come. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're not new to the channel, leave a comment, like the video, and let's get a conversation started. What do you feel about this Iron Man? How do you feel about Heroes Return, Heroes Reborn, and all that stuff back in the 90s? Let me know. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I'm out of here. Till next time, everybody stay safe. Peace.
The way I got it figured.